Hi students, this is Mrs. Laybourne and this is section 10.5, solving a quadratic equation using the quadratic formula. The standard form of a quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, where a is not equal to 0. So far we've talked about solving quadratic equations by graphing and looking for the x-intercepts, by taking the square root of both sides, and that method works when the b value is 0, or factoring the quadratic equation and then applying the zero product property. There are other times when we will want to use a formula because we may not be able to factor the equation. There will be values for a, b, and c, and when we try to graph our equation, it's either difficult to read the x-intercepts, or it's just difficult because of the values for a, b, and c to graph the equation. And so the formula comes in very handy. The formula will always work, and it even works when we can factor or graph or solve an equation by taking the square roots. It works in all situations, and it says that you need to determine the values for a, b, and c, and then just plug in the values into the formula, which is x is equal to the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of the quantity b squared minus 4ac, and that entire expression divided by 2a. So if we look at this situation and try to apply our formula, the equation I have for you in this first example is 3x squared minus 1 is equal to x. So first we need to get the equation equal to 0. So we write 3x squared minus x minus 1 is equal to 0. Now we can see that a is equal to 3, b is equal to -1, and c is equal to -1. A again is the coefficient of the quadratic term, b is the coefficient of the linear term, and c is our constant. So first we'll write down our formula. X is equal to the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And it's always good to write the formula down before you do any substitutions. So now we have x is equal to the opposite of b, which is -1, and its opposite then would be 1, plus or minus the square root of the quantity -1 squared minus 4 times a, which is 3, times c, which is -1, all divided by 2 times a, which is 3. We can simplify this to 1 plus or minus the square root of 1 plus 12, all divided by 6. And that would simplify to 1 plus or minus the square root of 13 all over 6. Leaving it in this form, we have our exact answers. One of them would be 1 plus radical 13, all divided by 6, and the other one would be 1 minus radical 13, all divided by 6. If they asked us to approximate our answer, we would plug into our calculator 1 plus radical 13, hit enter, and then divide by 6, and then we could approximate usually to the nearest hundredth. And then we could do the same thing for the negative square root of 13. I'm going to give you a problem to try, another example, and then when you have that one done, you can come back and check your answer with my work. So this next example is 6x squared plus 7x minus 10 equals 0. Okay, press pause, determine your answer, and then come back. Okay, so A is equal to 6, B is equal to 7, C is equal to negative 10, since our equation was already equal to 0. And then we have x is equal to the opposite of b, which is negative 7, plus or minus the square root. B squared is 49, minus 4 times a, which is 6, times negative 10. And all of this is being divided by 2a, which is 12. Our answer would simplify to negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 289, all divided by 12. 289 happens to be a perfect square, so we have negative 7 plus or minus 17 all over 12, and that would equal 10 over 12, or 5/6, and our other answer would be negative 24 over 12, or negative 2. And so our solutions for the equation would be x is equal to 5/6 or negative 2. I hope this explanation has made sense to you and that you were able to get this same answer. I will see you in class soon. Take care. Bye-bye.